Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and today is the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio. And I basically woke up this morning, opened my eyes, and all of a sudden I got this intense download of just emotion. And literally, it's like my eyes popped open and I became conscious of the intensity in the air, the vibration in the air. And I actually wasn't thinking about the fact that today was a full moon in Scorpio. I was thinking about like just all of the things that I have to do today. And I start my new job tomorrow in my new city, and I'm definitely not settled in. But, you know, I'm organized enough to where I could start my new job, but there's a ton of tasks that I have to do. And it just became super overwhelming for me. And it almost paralyzed me, combined with the fact that I had this, like, just incredible, intense feeling. Just this... fear-based feeling that I was in danger, that I needed to not make a change, that there's something that's gonna happen to me, like this fear-based feeling of like all of these negative thoughts about just, you know, I don't want to change my life. I don't want to move forward. What if I fail? What if I don't know the parking situation? I don't know where the building is. I don't know what a morning commute is like. And it was like all of this list, this horrible, disempowering list of things that could go wrong. And it paralyzed me in a state of resistance to this exciting new opportunity. Now, mind you, I've wanted this job for as long as I can remember. It's what motivated me to go to school. And living in a new city is a fresh new start for me. And I'm really, I love it. I love that everything is new, so that there's nothing from my past that haunts me here. I mean, it's amazing. That's where my brain is at. Unconsciously, I've had a lot of life experience. And the older you get, the more life experience you get, and the more that you have visited, you know, that journey in life where you face failure. And when you face failure, there's always consequences. They could be financial consequences, they could be relationship consequences, they could be emotional consequences, they could be psychological consequences, but there's always a consequence. And I was feeling all of these consequences of every past failure all at once. It was like an immediate eyes open download plugged into the vibration in the air. And it just absolutely paralyzed me in a state of, I don't know if I can do this, you know, in an emotional hell. And the darkness started to seep into me and spread into my thoughts and spread into my body and spread through me like a forest fire, just burning all of my optimistic outlook and just replacing it with a smoky, clouded feeling of just impending doom, right? And it was just ridiculous. Because yes, I have a lot to do today, and yes, there are some things unsettled. I have a great deal of tasks to do on my computer. I have to get organized for my first day. I have to figure out where I'm going. I have to fill out some forms, some electronic forms still. I'm not settled in. So yes, there are some disadvantages to starting anew and, you know, creating all these changes in your life. And they're very overwhelming, but to let it stand in the way of me enjoying my new life and the opportunity that stands before me, and to allow it to take hold and fester into a dark, seedy energy that goes through me and takes away my power, I'm just not going to have. I'm not having it. I am very conscious of the role that fear plays in my life, and I understand how much damage it can do, and that it generates on a very unconscious level these self-sabotaging techniques to make me fall into its web of depression and anxiety and resistance, right? I was thinking about the deceptive cloak that fear seduces us with. It makes us feel like we're trying to save ourselves from something bad, when in fact it's standing in the way of something good, and something that will progress our lives, and something that will change our lives for the better. But the way that fear seduces us is it takes away our power and makes us feel powerless, and makes it feel like it's saving us from something bad, when it's saving us from everything we want, everything we need right now. And so I really want you guys to understand that if some of you are in a state where fear is standing in the way of you taking an opportunity, of you moving forward, of you accepting a challenge, you need to recognize the ugly truth about fear, the ugly truth about how fear has been controlling you and your choices for a really long time. And that you can always, always change the role that fear has in your life. Fear is a conscious decision. It's something we can become conscious of. For a very long time, fear, if we have lived long enough, or if we have had enough experiences, or even if we've been young and we've grew up too fast, we've had a lot of life experiences that have given us situations, cumulative situations, for us to relate to, that basically shows us that we are failures, right? Because basically I find that our failures are stronger than all of the successes that we've done in our lives, cumulatively up to this day, right? I mean, we've done a lot of really good things. We've done a lot of empowering things. We've actually took some risks, and they've paid off. Not every risk is going to fail, but every time you make a change, there is a certain element of risk involved that basically there's a percentage of there's a low percentage that you might fail. If you've done your research and you haven't jumped into this, and you've considered the fact that you need some resources, and you've been researching your resources and attaining resources to help make your transitions possible, and if you're taking things slowly and you're not in a rushed state and you're not being impulsive, then you're fine. Fear is in a deceptive state right now. For some of you, it's hard to distinguish whether fear is keeping you from danger or whether it's making you succumb to danger, right? Fear likes to control us by presenting insecurities as danger. It's an insecurity. It is a weakness that resides in you on a deeply internal level. Some of the ways that fear seduces us is through our unconscious mind. But at some point, we can recognize the demon for what it is, the darkness for what it is. And our logical mind is powerful. The rational mind, there's a reason why that we have an emotional mind and we have a rational mind, where we make emotional decisions and we make rational decisions, is because sometimes our emotional decisions can't be trusted. And sometimes our rational decisions lack enough emotion, lack the emotional pull, the emotional importance to not do something at the expense of others. So you have to see things for what they are, but your rational mind right now is on point. There is a lot of information coming in and going out, and there's a lot of things that you're being subjected to on a very elevated level, and it can be hard to make sense out of what is going on. Are you in a rational state? Are you in a fearful state? Are you in a, are you considering everything? You get worried about maybe something fell through the crack, and maybe the reason why you're thinking about things on this this level is because there's something you still need to figure out. I think you need to take the pressure off yourself. You need to go, like today, I have 100 things to do. I went hiking. Screw it. My brain, if it is not at peace, if I can't learn to manage myself in a fearful state, then fear is going to drive my choices, and that's an absolute refusal at this point. So I had to face, first thing in my day, first thing on my agenda is fear, the role it's playing in my life right now. I needed to face that head on, because as soon as I can calm my fearful state, and as soon as I can replace my fearful state with rational thought, what is my real concern? And then use my emotional fear, right, of something to create a list of things that will calm my fear and will make me feel more secure about moving forward, because I'm moving forward whether fear likes it or not. It's happening. And I'm ready to take the ramifications of my actions. I'm ready to take this risk. And I really have been doing a lot of research, and I am doing things slowly, even though they feel like they're at an extremely fast pace. When you get all this Taurus energy, everything can feel too fast. And that's why fear is being generated, is because things are being attracted to you that are super crazy positive, but they feel like it's all coming at once, when actually this has been set in motion for a very long time. You guys don't realize this, but everything you're attracting right now, even though it seems like it's all at once, you have been working on this sometimes for years. Many of you have been working up to this change, this big change, this time in your life, this pivotal point in your life, for like 8 years, 7 years. Some of you could only be a year. It depends on how old you are. But mostly, it's just, we had so much going on, we didn't see this change coming because we were in survival mode for so long. But the change is here. The change is going to happen whether we want it to or not. But we have to empower ourselves enough to accept the challenge of becoming happier, attracting good things, being successful. You don't need to identify yourself with fear anymore. You're not in danger anymore. There are things outside of our control that are going on that will radically change the way that we live our lives, and there's nothing we can do about that. What we need to learn to use fear for is to not fear everything that could possibly go wrong externally and internally, whether it's in our personal planet world or our outer planet world. We can't live in these fearful states. We have to live in a state that we have the power to make changes. We have to make that the conscious thought that goes on in our mind at all times. So today, when fear tried to seduce me, I understood it for what it was, and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here, and I'm going to go I need to calm my mind. My mind is the most important thing right now. The depth that I'm feeling of fear is the most important thing, because fear has a lot of control over me. And I'm just being super truthful and honest with you. And it is something I fight on a daily basis. It is a way that I discipline my mind. It takes a great deal of self-control to manage this beast. And it's only because there are so many good things happening that it's so big. It's so, there are so many things I don't recognize, that they're not familiar, they're not comforting, because I don't have any time attached to them. I look back sometimes at my past, and there are things that I've attached comfort zones to, but most of them, if I'm very honest with you, weren't comfortable states in my life. They were just familiar. I was associating comfort with dysfunction, and it was a very toxic mindset, and I'm getting myself out of that. And so new is like being naked, and I just want to be in a big hoodie, in cozy pajamas, in socks, in a rainy day, in my house, and snuggled up watching a movie, and just with a fire going, and just as many comfort things as I can put around me right now, because there just doesn't feel like anything is super comfortable, familiar. I don't recognize my life right now. And that used to, back in the day, excite me crazy. I used to just radically change my life all the time, but as I'm older, as I'm more mature, as I have gained more life experience, and I have failed more often than I've succeeded. I guess in my mind is what I want to say to that. Fear has taken over my rational mind. Look, be proud of yourself that you wake up every single morning and you do this again. Be proud of yourself that you go to work. Be proud of yourself that you succeed every day in tasks. No matter what you feel, no matter what chain of events is going on in your life, if you are living up to your responsibilities, if you are going through the motions of life despite the unraveling, that is a success every single day. So really, honestly, if you rationally look at your failures versus your successes, then really what it's saying to you is that you are actually successful every single day, and that you've actually had more successes in your lives than you've ever had a failure. So it's just funny. It's just your mind twisting you right now. And I like that I understand to this point that what fear has been doing to me. It's very hard, it's very real, it's very intense to face. That so much of my life toward the, in the last like 8, 9, 10 years has been, I would say, yeah, maybe 10 years, has been, especially the last 8 years, has been more in a fearful state, underlying on an unconscious level, than it has been in a rational state. And I'm just gonna change that, because I'm not gonna let fear take my life and take my enjoyment anymore. It's not happening. Anyhow, I love you guys, and I hope that you guys are experiencing a better day. Actually, my day is getting amazing. Like, it's sunny, it's beautiful. I found a new trail. There's lots of trails in here, lots to do in here, lots of lakes. And so, I found something amazing to do. Sometimes new is amazing. Look at this view, guys. Just good grief. Look at that. Isn't this beautiful? This is a new view for me. Something new in my life. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.